Welcome to the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern, certified G, bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. We're here breaking down how selfish of a football team he supports, the Washington Commanders. We're here talking about the Cowboys running sprints at practice. We're here talking about a lot of other things going around the NFL. Did DJU play last night? I went to bed.
He did. I think he was like 2 of 3 for 18 yards.
He sucks and you can't teach that. Bada boom, man. The people in the room. G Money Grant Mitchell. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Tanner. You know what I was just thinking about when you were doing the intro? Do you remember that guy who used to comment on like every episode when I would mouth along? You're saying certified G, bona fide stud, and I'm like mouthing along, and he would always comment every single time. This guy doesn't know what the other guy's saying. It's like, yes, I do. And I was just thinking of that during the intro.
Yeah, he hasn't been commenting in a while. I wonder if he's okay.
What was do you remember Gloria from Parlay Power Hour?
I do remember Gloria from Parlay Power Hour. She was cool. She was always big fan.
She was a big fan of Will.
Big fan of Will. Yeah, big fan of Will. Parlay Power Hour was the old show we used to get on and talk betting picks every morning. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. People here probably have no clue what we're talking about, but maybe if they want to get in on these inside jokes, here's an early plug, Tanner. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Tanner and I are putting out content all the time, so make sure you join the community.
The past 3 shows have been popping off, guys. Football season is back. We know everyone's excited. The subscribers have been going up. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. We talk about everything around the NFL. We talk about college football. We talk about the WNBA when it has to be talked about, including Sophie Cunningham saying you're dumb as shit if you don't think Caitlin Clark is the face of the league. That was a great quote. Great quote by her. And you can't teach that.
Do you follow her? Because you know everything she's up to.
No, Twitter is undefeated because all the dumb stuff that circulates from the WNBA goes onto my Twitter. You know, like
you're in the WNBA algorithms.
No, I'm in like the shit on the WNBA algorithms. That's what I would describe it as. Now don't get me wrong, I love the W. Big fan of the W, but I get those like quote tweets and stuff, but I get Sophie Cunningham stuff. I mean, I get Caitlin Clark. I get the stuff where I get the funny side of the WNBA. I don't get like the woke side of
it. Okay, we're off to a great start here. Good thing we're not talking about the WNBA today. We got a lot going on in the NFL. Before we talk about the NFL, Grant, why don't you tell the people about WSN.com? Yeah, well, with the NFL, I was going to say the NFL returning, but it returned last night. We all saw it right there, 7:30 Hall of Fame game. With the NFL back, if you go over to WSN.com, then you are going to get picks, previews, analyses from myself, Tanner, the team of experts. We are breaking down games. We got promo codes for sports books. That includes things like bonus bets and profit boost. All of that great stuff is over at WSN.com. And it's also not just the NFL. NBA, NHL, MLB, hockey, or not hockey, soccer, ping pong, whatever's going on, you're going to find it there, WSN.com.
WSN.com, the World Sports Network, the best sports network. Grant, start with Terry McLaurin. Big news pops up last night, right after the MLB trade deadline. By the way, the Boston Red Sox did absolutely nothing, really pissed me off. But big news pops up after the trade deadline. Terry McLaurin is requesting a trade from your Washington Commanders because no contract extension talks progress has been made. Now, my biggest issue here, I'm going to let you go off because you're the Commanders fan, but my biggest thing is just an overall theme. These guys looking for contract extensions when they were still under contract before a contract year is mind-blowing to me. You signed the contract. You should live up to the contract. You should play through the contract. You are an employee of the team. You play for the fans. That bothers me. The Trey Hendrickson situation with Bengals, that bothers me. The team doesn't have to give you a contract extension. The employer doesn't care about you, but you're under contract, so you got to show up. And you're still making so much money. Like you're still making $18 million according to Terry McLaurin this year. So it's just ridiculous. And it should be disheartening for you as a Commanders fan.
It's disappointing, especially I went on a little rant yesterday, and I guess my biggest question was just, what is the point of Terry McLaurin's NFL career at this point? He's accomplished a lot. He's gotten generational wealth for his family. I'm not coming at it from that perspective. Terry's made about $70 million in career earnings. Let's just say, hypothetically, he signs a contract tonight for 25 over 3 years. That puts him at $75 million. That's $150 million career earnings by the end of that contract. If he's trying to squeeze out an extra $5-6 million a year, well, at the end of that contract, it now goes to $170 million. So we're looking at $150 million versus $170 million in career earnings. Terry McLaurin, his first 5 years in the NFL, was in the equivalent of football hell. The Commander Stadium is leaking sewage at games. They're disgracing the memory of the deceased Sean Taylor by putting his jersey on like a wireframe mannequin with soccer cleats. They're doing everything wrong. They're changing the name. They suck every year. They're winning 4 games, not going to the playoffs. They got the worst owner in professional sports. He endured all of that, and through all of it, he was a model citizen. If you were to ask who's the best guy in the NFL, a lot of people would say Terry McLaurin. And if you asked who has the best case to be the worst guy, like who deserved to be the worst guy, it would also be Terry McLaurin. But he presented himself so well that entire time. He finally has one good year. He's set up to win a Super Bowl, and now he wants to just draw this line in the sand. And if he's serious about this trade request, which I'll be honest, I don't think he is. I think this is a final throw of the cards. This is the final bit of leverage I have. I'm putting it out there, hitting the red button. But like, just hypothetically, if you were to get traded to the Saints or the Browns or the Raiders or the Panthers or someone like that, what was the point of your career? So for that extra $20 million, you're going to put yourself right back in purgatory when you were finally, after going through all those hard times, you were finally on the cusp of maybe competing for a Super Bowl. I just don't understand it.
But even if he gets traded, nobody has to extend him. Like you trade him for this season, then you don't have to extend him. Like if I'm a contending team, I could trade for Terry McLaurin right now, have him play out the rest of the season, and then not give him a contract. So I don't understand why he wants to move so bad. And also, too, even if he, like you were saying, this is just a last-ditch effort to try to get a contract extension, it makes you look so bad amongst the fans. I don't know how it's interpreted amongst the team, because you look at the Trey Hendrickson situation, it seems like the Bengals have his back. This is a different scenario, though, in my opinion, than that. But I know the players know it's a business, right? The players feel it's a business, but still, this is not the ultimate team guy move. Like, he was probably, if the Commanders win a Super Bowl, he could be getting his number in the Ring of Honor there. Like,
he definitely would. He might get a statue, honestly.
Statue's probably pushing a little bit, but he could get it. He could get a number in the Ring of Honor. Could get a number.
It would be a guarantee. I promise you.
Yeah. So you're just ruining your reputation amongst the Commander Nation, Redskin Nation, football team nation. And it's a problem.
Yeah. And I guess what I'm struggling to understand is, again, if it's just the final throw of the cards, then okay, I guess that's part of the process. But I want to know, what does he actually believe is going to happen? Because as we've talked about on this show before, the Commanders are well within the right to say, you want to trade, too bad. You're sitting right here. And then we can franchise tag you next year. We can franchise tag you the year after that. Also, if they don't franchise tag him and they don't trade him, they're just going to say, hey, Terry, we dare you to hit the open market at 31 years old. Get a long-term extension worth at least $30 million from a team you've never played for after you sat out your entire age 30 season. Good luck with that. Let us know how it goes. This is a weird situation, because the Commanders' only path to a Super Bowl this year is with Terry McLaurin. And I don't think they will win it, but they have literally no hope without him. They have a very minor hope with him. Terry McLaurin's only hope of getting this $30 million deal is in Washington. He will not get it somewhere else. So both sides need each other, but I feel like the Commanders have all of the leverage in this situation, because the team almost always has the leverage.
Do they have to pay him anything? Probably not, if he doesn't show up or if he refuses to play this season.
Yeah, you just pull his game checks.
You pull his game checks, but the guarantees, you can probably void the guarantees too in there.
I would assume so. I'm not. Yeah. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, there's probably some ways to void something there, but it's insane to me that this is the case. And also, it shows me too a little bit that you don't believe in yourself. You go out, you have a big year this season, you're probably going to get a nice 3-year deal somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be Washington. It could be. I don't know if he's part of their plan moving forward at 31, but somebody would take him. You're going to get a nice 3-year deal. I'm not saying it's going to be the money you want, but if you go out, have another really good season, you are critical to Jaden Daniels' growth, they're going to reward you. It might not be DK Metcalf money, but you're in a situation where you could win a Super Bowl. You've made a ton of money already. You got the quarterback to support you. And I know the sides are really far off with the money that they want. Terry wants more than what the Commanders are going to give, but At what point does it become about just winning a Super Bowl? And this is not a team guy move, Grant. And I hope you're realizing that. This is a bad team
why
guy.
are you talking to me like I don't realize that? That's what I've been saying. I've been saying that since before he requested the trade. I've been saying that for weeks.
I'm just trying to make you feel bad, honestly.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I don't agree that it's a lack of self-confidence. I see why you would say that, but there's some other stuff that's going on that makes me think it's actually a different reason. I think this is just the typical bad advice from the agent, because ever since Terry went from holding out to holding in and he came back to the facility, every single day that the Commanders have had practice, once they finish, he goes out to the field, does a lap, talks with his agent. His agent's with him the entire side, which is weird, or by his side, because it's been like 4 or 5 days that they've done this now. It's a little strange. Like, we get it. You're clearly just showing off the agent. Like, hey, look at me. I still don't have a contract. We get it. They talk for like 10, 15 minutes. Terry signs his autographs. Media tries to ask him questions. He ignores them, goes inside. It's all very clearly a PR stunt with the agent right at the center of it. So I do think it's his agent saying, this is how we're going to do it. Terry is also far and away his agent's biggest client. So I don't think his client is used to going through these sort of battles with the front office. And like, it's funny because we know some of the struggles that Deebo Samuel had with the 49ers front office, and Adam Peters was there for all of that. He was an assistant GM with the 49ers. Like, they've had some standoffs with Nick Bosa and Deebo and Ayuk and some of those other guys. So I don't know why Terry or his agent would think the Commanders were just going to bend the knee to whatever they wanted. Also, I don't know the relationship between these people, but I've seen a lot of big Commanders fan accounts reposting some tweets from guys they say are Terry's close friends. And because all of them are saying that, I do think they're right. I can't confirm it personally, but according to what these tweets from Terry's friends are saying, basically the Commanders have offered him $25 million a year. Terry wants 32.5. 32.5 is that DK Metcalf money. That would be top 4 money in the NFL.
And what's he make? He's on 20 million now, right?
His average on this deal was 23.
And they're going up 2 million for him at 31, 3-year deal.
Yeah. I don't know for sure, but I would expect 3-year deal, which would kick in next year because he still got this year. Next year would be his age 31 season.
I mean, I think this kind of goes back to like Aaron Judge with the New York Yankees when he was signed his big deal, or he could go to San Francisco and get more money. There were places he could have gone to get more money, but at what point? And now that's different levels of money. Like that's 10x different levels of money than what Terry McLaurin's going. It's still big money, but you got the chance to have the statue with the New York Yankees. You're going to be the guy in New York, or you could go somewhere else, make more money, but you lose the statue, you lose the history and the reputation. Terry McLaurin, at what point, and $7 million is a lot of money, but at what point is it like, hey, give me $27 million and let me stay here? Like let's go up another couple million and then let me become the face of the Washington Commanders franchise for years to come. And like not in the face, I mean like historically, like Ring of Honor guy. You got Jaden Daniels there. You got a championship caliber football team, and you're giving up on that. Now I don't think, and honestly, maybe if they did trade him, he'd be surprised. If I was the Commanders, the Commanders are in the position of power here, 100%. You got an older wide receiver, a guy getting up there in his early 30s, but you also have a situation where it's not win now mode for the Commanders. Like, win now is great, but there's no pressure to win now. Jaden Daniels is in year 2. You have a young team around. You're going to get younger as you go on, and Jaden Daniels is only going to get better. So if Terry McLaurin doesn't want to be part of the picture and they don't win this year, it's no big deal for them, because it's not like it's, hey, Jaden Daniels is 29 right now, we got to go.
No, I 100% agree with everything you said there. And also, I don't know how it works with a franchise tag, but I could be wrong, but I feel like the Commanders could let his deal run out, franchise tag him, and then can they trade him on the tag? Or maybe they give him the non-exclusive tag, which means another team can sign him, but they owe draft picks to the Commanders. So yeah, the Commanders really have the leverage kind of no matter how this thing plays out.
You know what, though? Dan Quinn, and I don't know much about the front office there, but Dan Quinn seems like a team guy. He seems like he's not going to put up with this. Like, if this contract doesn't get resolved in some way, like, they're not going to re-sign him. He's going to walk.
The only thing I would worry about would be getting some assets back for him.
Yeah, you definitely want to get some assets back if you can in the meantime. But like if he plays this season, he's got a bad attitude and he doesn't get the extension, but he's still playing. And I don't think you resign him. I think you let him walk, honestly, especially if he wants 32 million.
Yeah, that's the thing. Kind of going back to what you were saying, like, hey, let's meet at 28. If Terry came back and even said like 29.9, just to show that I'll go under 30, even though it's like it's the old like trick at the gas station. You know, they say it's gas here is $2.99 and 9 cents. It's really $3, but it gives you that mental feeling. But it's just a sign. If Terry this whole time has been unwilling to go below 30 million, if he says I'll sign for 29.9, maybe the Commanders will come back with like, okay, we'll give you 28, 29, and that's how you get the deal done.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just becomes an ego thing for him in the end of the day. Like
I think he feels, judging by some of his comments, I think he might be willing to compromise more, but he feels the Commanders lowballed him, so he's highballing them, and now nobody's moving.
Which it's ridiculous in the end of the day. Like, why do that? Like, I know you want what you're worth, but it comes down to a point where is there really that much? If you can get it up to 27, 28, is there really a difference between 3-4 million a year at this point when you're in a good situation? You can play in one spot your entire career. Like that is something to be said. And maybe not if he goes 3 years and then wants to go somewhere else in the final few years that he has left. But for the majority of the year, you can be in one spot. Like not many people can say that. You can be like he could be the Mike Evans kind of guy, the next Mike Evans, which is definitely something that, you know, you look at Mike Evans, he's taken team-friendly deals. He's stayed as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He's a legend. He's going to be in the Ring of Honor. He's won a Super Bowl there. Why wouldn't you want that?
The Commanders reportedly actually tried to use Mike Evans as kind of a reference because Mike Evans right now is on like a 2-year, $21 million deal. And the comparisons between Mike Evans and Terry are actually very strong. At his peak, Mike Evans was better, but they're both on that list of, I forget exactly what it is, but I think it's like players with 75 plus receptions and 1,000 plus yards in consecutive seasons. And like, it's like them and maybe T.O. or Randy Moss or someone is like the only ones to do that their first 5 years in the league. But there are definitely similarities between the two of them.
But, you know, that's the thing about a guy like Mike Evans. Like Johnny Manziel was paying for Mike Evans' kid when he was in college with his autograph money. Like, I think the perspective in the how you look at it, it's the right way there with him. It's like, you know, I'm in one spot. I'm making money. I may not be making the most money, but I'm making enough money to be here. I get to keep my kids in one place. I get to keep my family here, and I get a chance to win a championship again with Baker Mayfield. I've already won a championship with Tom Brady. That's where it just the players that lose the sight about the money, it bothers me a little bit when we're not talking like 10 million versus 50 million. We're talking 5-6 million a year realistically if they can negotiate. It's disrespectful to the fans. It's disrespectful to your teammates. And I know you want what you're worth, but you're not worth DK Metcalf money. Like I want like Terry McLaurin.
DK Metcalf is not worth DK Metcalf money. Let's make that clear. The Steelers overpaid for him. So because the Steelers made a mistake does not mean the Commanders also need to make a mistake.
But they're win now mode too. Like the Steelers are win. Like they have a short time frame to win a Super Bowl. And if they're going to do it, it's got to be this year with Aaron Rodgers, which segues perfect in our next segment. But Terry McLaurin is not DK Metcalf money. And just size wise, I'm going to pay DK Metcalf more money than I am Terry McLaurin. Like just no matter what, because he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, and Terry's also 2 years older than him, don't forget. And look, I'm for Terry getting his money. I don't want anything I've said here to take away from that. I want him to get his money. But like you've said, players should always get what they're worth. You're worth what you can negotiate. And if Terry doesn't get this deal done, again, good luck hitting the open market after not playing a year. The Commanders are not going to trade you because if the Commanders get to a situation where it's like, we have to trade Terry, the entire league knows that it's a problem and they're going to lowball the Commanders with their trade offer. So the Commanders just won't trade him. So you're worth what you can negotiate. And if Terry doesn't get this negotiation done, his chances of a huge payday like the one he's asking for, they're done. He's not getting it next year from a new team.
At least practice, though. Like, that's my thing. At least practice. Like you're setting yourself up to fail if you don't practice while you're negotiating, because the team's going to be more likely to give to you if you're practicing, number one. I will firmly believe that. If you're going out there crushing in practice, you're also making yourself in shape. So when you do come back, you're not going to be in a situation where you haven't done active football stuff. And if you do get traded, it would have been better to practice. Because not that you would have got traded if you practice, but you need to practice. So when you go somewhere else or you can get on the field, you're going to have that contract year where somebody is going to give you what you want if you can't get it done with Washington.
I wonder what the whole insurance policy thing looks like, because Jamar Chase took an insurance policy out on his legs before he signed that huge deal. And I get why Terry would be scared of practicing because, you suffer a major injury. You're definitely not getting that deal. So I wonder if you can, like how we talk about hedging bets, can you like hedge a contract with the insurance policy?
Those like the Jamar Chase insurance policy has to be well over $1 million.
I'm sure it's more. It might be 8 figures. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I'm sure that he put out for that. But anyways, Grant, any other thoughts on the Washington football team, Redskin Commanders?
Let's go. Last I looked, they were 7th in Super Bowl odds. Let's see if that's moved at all. There has been slight movement. Yeah, they're down from 18-1 to 20-1. I don't know if that's a response to Terry or if that's just people putting in bets. But it now goes Ravens, Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Rams, Niners are the first team to pass them, and Kami's now down at 20-1.
I like it.
Speaking of Super Bowl teams and DK Metcalf, let's talk about the Steelers.
I think the Steelers are washed up, honestly. I mean, this team's not going to win. I don't know why we think they're going to. You got a coach who just notoriously makes it to the playoffs and then goes 500 in the first round. So I don't think they're going to win. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is close enough to win right now. He can still throw the football, but is he the guy like 2 minutes left in the game that you trust Aaron Rodgers to go out and put the drive together to win multiple times? No. So I don't understand what the Steelers are doing here. I think it was the only option they had. So I do tip my cap in that regard. They needed Aaron Rodgers to get them to a Super Bowl. But if it were up to me, seeing what they have and knowing the situation around them in a loaded AFC, they're not going to beat the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. Like, it's just not going to happen in a single year. So I would have, the way Will Howard looks in training camp, I would have moved on to him and just started getting better moving forward.
I've heard he's been cooking. Is that true?
Yeah, he's been like unbelievable.
Huh. Well, I mean, maybe we'll see in the preseason because training camp can be deceptive. We'll see. Yeah. I think everyone knew that there was always this love affair between Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin. Like going back to when Rodgers was with the Packers fans were worried. Like during his MVP, I think the year before he left was his last MVP. So it was a very quick fall off. But even during that year, they were worried like, hey, we're losing him to the Steelers. So maybe this is a little late, like how Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, their boxing match was like a little late. We'd been wanting it for a while. I still think the Steelers can be good because when they go 9-8 every year, no matter who's quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, whoever, it's hard for me to say that like they're not going to go 9-8. But at the same time, I do know what I've seen from Aaron Rodgers the last couple of years. His counting numbers, like touchdown to interception, might not be terrible, but there's a lot of checkdowns. There's a lot of insecurity. He's a little immobile in the pocket. And the FanDuel and all the other sports books have the Steelers win total at 8.5. So I do think, as weird as it sounds, I do think Mike Tomlin's first losing year could come in this year with Aaron Rodgers when people think they're a Super Bowl team.
I don't know if it comes this year. I don't think they'll lose. I mean, I think Mike Tomlin's win total will be said 8.5 the rest of his coaching career. Like he's an 8.5 guy. Like we're going to go 9-8. And you know what? That's really good. Like in the end of the day, I know it's all about winning championships, but like if you fire Mike Tomlin, which Steelers fans, there are some who want to do that. What more do you get? Like who else is going to get you in the playoffs every single season? He gives you a chance every year, even though he can't get it over the finish line. But yeah, I think 9-8 is probably realistic looking at their schedule. Every time we do this, we got to go through the schedule, Grant. So Jets, big W. Big W started off the season against New York Jets, don't you think?
I don't know. Justin Fields' revenge game.
At the Jet. Yeah, but like, is it an Aaron Rodgers revenge game?
I don't know.
We'll
give it to the Steelers.
If they don't win that game, their season's done. But Seattle,
I'll give it to them.
All right, so they're 2-0. How about this? They split Seattle or New England.
They go 2-1, yeah.
They go 2-1 the first three. Minnesota, like JJ McCarthy's trash. It's an international game. Aaron Rodgers' comeback last year in the international game to cover a live spread of 14.5 was pretty impressive. So I will go 3-1 there.
Beat the Browns.
4-1. Worst case, let's call it 4-2. Let's be a little rude. 4-2. At Cincinnati, you don't have the offense.
Wait. That doesn't add up. We're only at 5 games. How are they 4-2?
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 3-2.
Okay.
At Cincinnati,
3-3.
3-3. Home against Green Bay,
3-4.
Indy 4-4. Chargers 4-5.
Give them a split with the Bengals.
Yeah, so 5-5. Bears 6-5. And Bears could be better than we think, but like I'll say 6-5 right now. Bills 6-6. Ravens 6-7. Dolphins
7-7.
7-7. Lions 7-8.
Browns 8-8. And then you got week 18 against the Ravens to go over or under 500.
The Ravens could be the 1 seed at that point, so I don't mind it.
Yeah,
also,
be resting.
We took away that Minnesota win, earlier on.
8.5 is the right line. Let's just say that.
It's going to be tight.
Yeah.
It's going to be tight. Yeah.
I'm looking at some power rankings from Fox Sports. This is via Ralph Vacchiano. Probably did not pronounce that name correctly. He is an NFL writer for Fox Sports. Okay, makes sense. His power rankings: number 1, Eagles; number 2, Ravens. No surprise there. Flip them if you want. Who cares? Chiefs 3, Bills 4. No problems there. Packers 5 is interesting. And then he's got the Steelers at 6, which I think is crazy. He's got them ahead of the Commanders, Bengals, Lions, Chargers, Rams, Texans, Buccaneers, and others.
That's insane to me. That's 8. Wait, that was overall power rankings, right?
Yeah, overall power rankings, he's got the Steelers 6th.
That's crazy. I can find 6 teams better than them right now. Starting the AFC East. Buffalo Bills, potentially the New England Patriots if things go their way. Bengals, I would put above them. Ravens above them. So that's 1, 2. That's potentially 4. That's 3. Nobody in the AFC South. Maybe the Texans.
Maybe. Yep.
Maybe. I don't know yet. Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers.
Yep.
I'd put the Broncos ahead of them right now.
I would too.
Eagles, Commanders. Nobody else there. NFC North, I'd go Lions, Packers, potentially. Not going to say the Vikings.
It's potential, though.
It's potential. It depends on what Justin Jefferson said JJ McCarthy sucks. So I I can't count on that.
Say that.
He said he's a rookie and I can't expect a lot out of him. That's media trained for he's trash. NFC South, the Bucks are better than them. Like I'll die on that hill. Falcons, Saints, Panthers, nobody there. And then NFC West, Rams are better than them. 49ers are probably better than them. The Seahawks are better. How do these people get writing jobs?
I mean, I don't want to hate because like sometimes I have takes that people sound crazy and they're like, you don't believe that. That's like, no, I do actually believe that. So I'm sure he believes this, but it's just crazy. I don't agree.
Well, not like 50-year-old Aaron Rodgers, like 30-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, like the Steelers team could be really good, but not.
Have you seen some of the stuff that Arthur Smith has been scheming up there?
No,
they could.
He's a terrible offensive coordinator.
They went out in 04 personnel the other day. No backs, 4 tight ends.
That's what they're gonna need to do. Like you can't rely on Aaron Rodgers to just like sling it around the field all day long. That's the issue. On paper, they have a good team. They do. Apparently,
at practice yesterday, they gave Jonnu Smith, their tight end, they gave him 2 carries.
It's interesting. I mean, Metcalf's going to be cooking a little bit.
No, okay, but then it goes Calvin Austin, Robert Woods, Roman Wilson. Like they got one receiver.
They need, and I know George Pickens is a head case, but they needed George Pickens. Like a Metcalf Pickens combination would have been really good.
Who did they trade to get Metcalf?
I'm not sure.
I forget. Because I remember they had Metcalf and Pickens together for like a day, and then they traded Pickens.
It was all picks.
Okay.
2025 Steelers got a 2025 6. Seahawks got a 2nd and a 7th. So he went for a 2nd and a 7th, and they get a 6 back.
Yeah, I got a friend who's a Steelers fan. I remember he was so excited because he's like, "Oh my God, for the first time since in 10 years, we solved our receiver issue." And then 24 hours later, they traded Pickens.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting situation here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will Howard will probably be the starting quarterback by the end of the season, though. He's cooking.
Can you imagine?
And
everybody thought Will Howard was trash.
Nobody thought Will Howard was trash.
No, at Ohio State, they're like, it's the precedent of Ohio State quarterbacks being bad in the NFL. Plus, he had Egbuka and not Marvin Harrison, Jeremiah Smith and Quinshon Judkins and Travion. Everyone's like, Will Howard is not an NFL quarterback.
I thought he was trash before the season, and by the end of the season, I was like, Will Howard's really good.
That national championship game, he was actually nuts. He started like 13 of 13. He was dialed.
He got good in the Tennessee game. The Tennessee playoff game was when Will Howard, like the arrival of Will Howard actually happened. I don't think he was that good before that because he just, Michigan game did not go his way. But that Tennessee game to start off the playoff run for them, he was just dialed in.
You hated him after the first Oregon game when he ran out the clock.
I bet on Oregon in that game, and then I watched then I see whatever Dylan Gabriel was stoned in the Rose Bowl press conference, so I was not too high on them, even though I bet on them. But yeah, apparently too, going to the Browns, they're going to cut or trade one of those guys. You see
mean, that doesn't surprise me. They have four quarterbacks who should be on an NFL roster. So you can get some trade comp for one of them.
Oh, definitely. I just wonder who it's going to be because Shador is with the backups. Dylan Gabriel's with the starters.
I still can't figure out what's going on with Shador. I mean, half of Cleveland media is like, this kid's incredible. Half of them is like, he sucks. He doesn't belong in the NFL.
It's probably because... Well, let's put it this way. Based on the owner's comments that he's like, I didn't expect to have Shador. If you had told me we were drafting Shador when I was driving home Friday night, that we were going to draft him on Saturday, I would have said, like, you're crazy. Now, that tells me that they drafted Dylan Gabriel with the intention that Dylan Gabriel's the better quarterback. Like, he's the guy that they want long-term there. So that's where I was a little, maybe Shador. Maybe this was just like, hey, 5th-round value. He's going to be a good trade piece someday. If he gets a little playing time, we can get rid of him kind of thing.
Well, so here's what I don't understand about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Andrew Berry, the Browns GM, didn't he say something like, we didn't plan on getting Shador either? And there was rumors that the owner had stepped in and was like, you have to draft Shador, but now he's saying it wasn't his call. It seems like nobody wants to claim ownership for drafting him. You know what, though? All this stuff, and I noticed this with the trade deadline, all these reporters that report this information, I would say 92% of the time, none of it's correct. Like a lot of these like insider reports are not accurate. The thing is, though, you can't fault them because their report could be what they were told. And that was just whoever told it to them was lying, try to protect their image or whatever. Maybe their sources are bad. Like source says, maybe your source sucks. It's possible. Yeah. I noticed that yesterday with the trade deadline. I'm like looking at all these stories of why deals aren't getting done. It's like, every 2 minutes it's changing, that's how it is in the NFL too. That's how it is around sports. John Harbaugh says Lamar Jackson is a historically great passer. We talked about this for like 10 seconds in pre-pro. We both agree. I'm going to guess that a lot of people have an issue with that. But I honestly, I don't see how you can. I think it's easy maybe to just discredit him because when you think of dual threat quarterbacks, you kind of naturally assume the passing comes down and the running goes up a little bit. But, I mean, that's not the case with Lamar. Last year, he was 41 touchdowns, 4 picks. All 4 of those picks were drops by his receivers the defense caught. His resume, I mean, touchdowns to interception for his career. He goes 36-6, 26-9. He has the really bad year where he's 16-13. And then he's 17-7 because he's injured. 23 is 24-7. Last year, he's 41-4. Lamar Jackson is a historically great turnover of the football in the playoffs. Number one. That's what I want to establish. But with that being said, his passing ability has gotten deadly. Like it is just he continues to take it up a notch. So I will tip my cap to Lamar Jackson. I do historically great thrower of the football or passer of the football. I don't think we're there yet. Like I think we need a little more from him. But the trajectory that he is on, that comment does make sense. His passing has definitely gotten a lot better. His deep ball passing especially it's effortless. He just flicks his wrist and it goes 50, 60 yards. And it's pinpoint accurate. Like who are the best deep ball passers in the NFL? A couple of years ago, we would have said Mahomes and Josh Allen. but they don't really do that anymore. It's Lamar and who else?
Bo Nix.
Oh my God. Because of one play.
Bo Nix, yeah.
No.
How many quarterbacks can make that throw? Aaron Rodgers is a pretty good deep ball passer.
Yes. I don't know if he's still quite that guy in his prime. Absolutely.
He's still a good deep ball passer. But yeah, I think Lamar is I love Lamar. I'm a big Lamar guy. I just think he got robbed of the title last year, the MVP. But he does.
You used to like Josh Allen more than Lamar, and I think Josh winning MVP turned you on him, which is a little backwards from how you would think it would work.
No, I was high on the Lamar train last year. I don't know why I was so against. I think betting just like changes who you like and stuff. And I had a ticket on the Ravens, so I'm like, fuck Josh Allen. Like this guy think he is like taking his hat off to shake military personnel's hand. Like, fuck this guy. You know, like so I was like, that was my mindset. And Josh Allen's a really good dude, but like I think I was so angry. I think I got angry last year because of the whole, you know, like Josh Allen is winning the MVP award narrative. Like this guy is not the MVP. Lamar is clearly better. And you know what, Grant? People in the comments, I'm not going to say what they were saying, but when I was saying Bo Nix over Jaden Daniels, they were calling me a word. They're calling me a word because
they're calling you an idiot, basically.
Yeah, but you know, the skin color version of that's what they were calling me. And
it could have also just been a joke.
I don't think so. But they were calling me that. And now, you know what? I'm all over the Lamar train. So ha. But
you can just support Jaden Daniels. You don't have to go to Lamar.
No, I mean, I'm a Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix more than Jaden Daniels, but I like Lamar more than Josh. I do like Josh. I want Josh to get over the hump, but I also think it's kind of funny. Like last year, I had a ticket on the Chiefs last year. And when I saw everybody wanted Josh Allen, the Bills, to win that game. And like when Josh Allen lost, I felt so bad for him. I felt so bad that I rooted against this guy, but I was like, who cares? Like the Chiefs just won. I got my money. But I felt really bad about it. Lamar, when that game ended in the AFC divisional round, I'm like, you guys blew this game. Like I was just angry, but I actually felt bad about the Josh Allen one. I still think Lamar's the better quarterback of him and Josh, though. He has more talent around him, but I still think he's better quarterback.
I felt bad for Lamar in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whatever.
Show up to that one though.
But like Lamar's a very calm guy. He doesn't really talk to the media a whole lot, and when he does, it's very like almost innocent and joking, and he's not a man of many words. But like, I remember him taking his helmet off, screaming, slamming it. Like you could tell how much that game meant to him, and he knew that he had blown it.
Well, the Chiefs' defense was.
They were teeing off.
There was no reason to complain in that game. He was terrible. The Chiefs defense was awesome. But, we're going to start getting like mental breakdowns from these guys. And Josh Allen has done a really good job handling it. Like last year, you could tell how bad he was hurting in the press conference after he lost that game to Patrick Mahomes. But if these guys don't start winning like meaningful playoff games, we're going to see them have mental breakdowns on camera.
Did you know that if you were to look at the best records in NFL history in a 5-year window, but that team never went to the Super Bowl, the two best records in NFL history belong to the Ravens from 20 to 24 and the Bills from 20 to 24?
I mean, it can't be much different than the Chiefs, though, right? Oh, that never went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But do the Chiefs have a better record in that time, you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think they've got a couple 15-2s on there, something like that.
Yeah. So,
I mean, both their records will definitely be good.
They'll be good. But like, honestly, I don't want to see the next Josh Allen press conference after Mahomes spanks him in the divisional round next year. And then, Lamar beats the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. I think that's going to happen. But if Josh Allen loses to Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs one more time, I think he's going to he may need to get checked into an institution.
Sorry, you said Josh or Lamar?
Josh.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar's going to be at that point. Burrow might be getting to that point too. Burrow looks a little.
No, but
he looks a little uptight in his press conferences now.
He just wants to make the playoffs, though. You let Joe Burrow in the playoffs, like he's going to win football games. Like he just hasn't been. He didn't get to go to the playoffs last year. He's got he's got a dumb coach. He's got a coach who just likes going for it on fourth down every time. So I think Joe Burrow has already done. He's already beaten Mahomes. He's gotten to the Super Bowl. He's done more than Allen and Lamar have in the playoffs. So I will tip my cap to Joe Burrow any day.
In the playoffs, yes, Lamar's the best regular season quarterback of them all. That's why I think the pressure is really on Josh Allen.
Yeah, but the pressure's on Lamar. Lamar needs to have the clean playoff game. I think we get distracted from last year's playoff game because Mark Andrews was the one who cost them. But Lamar also, the pick early didn't end up impacting them. I'll call that a punt, basically. But fumbling and putting on the ground and giving the Bills 7 points, that happened earlier, so you don't get the blame like Mark Andrews does, but that still cost them the game. So he needs to have a clean playoff game, and we're starting to get there. Last year was a little better. But Josh just needs to win. Like Josh, because Josh just doesn't like the playoff games for him. I feel like last year, at least, he just didn't do a whole lot. Like they just managed the game.
And hey, you know who sacked Lamar when he fumbled? Commanders defensive end Von Miller.
Oh yeah, Von Miller. You guys. I mean, problem is you guys aren't going to score any points now without a receiver. So,
Debo 2,000-yard season.
Debo is fat. Debo's fat with a torn ACL. Grant.
You want to talk about the new coaches?
Yeah. So let's see. Brian Schottenheimer. Let's see here. Let's see. I gotta pull the information up that Grant put together here. Brian Schottenheimer. So I'll tell a story here real quick. College football. I played 1AA football. So, we're not talking about the Cowboys here, but we got in too many fights at practice and we had to run gassers. Same thing. We basically ran 3 gassers, like
sideline to sideline.
Sideline to sideline. So that's what happened with the Cowboys because they were fighting too much. And he also made the coaches run with them. I feel like when you get to this point in the NFL, like making them run gassers is not like, I don't think they're like, they probably don't like it, number one, but he can't pull that with the NFL guys. I think you look like a child when you do that. You can't control your football team to enough where you need to make them run sprints. Like, come on.
It reeks of a coach being a head coach for the first time and feeling like they need to do something to command the respect and attention of the locker room and let everyone know it's my way or the highway. It's going to be militaristic. This is how we're going to do it. And to your point, that's not the right way to do it. If there's one thing that I've seen from Dan Quinn, and I hate tying things back to the Commanders because I'm a Commanders fan, but the culture that he has created, there's so much respect for one another that things like this don't happen, but it happens from a place of positivity. And I'm not saying that negativity doesn't have a place, but like this early in the camp, when you're coming off a losing season, it's your first year ever as a head coach, your best player is beefing with your owner, and your solution to fighting's okay in football, but it does mean there are bad feelings in the air. Your solution to all of that is to make them run sprints. Like, to your point, they're going to be tired. They were pissed off beforehand. They're going to be pissed off at you. They don't finish those sprints and look at you and are like, I'm glad you did that. I really feel as if I will be held accountable for my actions now. That's not the effect that it creates.
No, not one bit. I think when you look at the situation here, this needed to be like a team meeting the next day or that night. Guy, if you fight, you're out of practice. Like, I'm not dealing with this.
Or just throw them out there. But like, find the guys who are fighting, say, go take a shower.
Yeah, you're done. I think that's the better way to handle it. It's more mature. I mean, making these guys run, unless it was just fights every play. I saw some clips. It looked pretty bad, but they should not be killing each other this early in training camp to a point where they need to fight each other. Like, that's, if you get a joint practice, yeah, go ahead, go throw some punches right now. No.
One of my favorite joint practices ever was, do you remember the D'Angelo Hall and DeAndre Hopkins moment?
Yeah.
Where D'Angelo Hall's talking smack, and DeAndre Hopkins like, I fear God, homie. and then D'Angelo Hall like tore his Achilles on the next play or something.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
was that Hard Knocks?
Probably was. We wouldn't have saw it that clearly if it wasn't.
Yeah, legendary moment.
Legendary. And then Ben Johnson, the Bears. Again, Caleb Williams, the hospital ball. Did you see the hospital ball he threw?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, I think it's a little unfair. Like, sometimes you got to throw that ball, but like everyone's quote tweeting it. Like, this would be like, it wasn't DJ Moore.
No, it was it a Dunze?
It might have been a Dunze. It's like, he would have been in the hospital if you quote, like, if he threw this ball in a game, he would have been in the hospital. So, but yeah, Ben Johnson yanked Luther Burden off the field for getting his alignment wrong. I don't think Ben Johnson's going to be a good head coach.
Yeah, you've said that before. I've seen some conflicting reports. Originally, it sounded like he threw Luther Burden out of practice for that. Some other people said he just kind of like took him out of the session and just chewed him out in front of everybody. And if you remember, when Luther Burden wasn't healthy for the voluntary minicamp, the rookie minicamp stuff, and he was talking like, "This is bad. This is setting his development back. Whatever, blah blah." And it was a little. It wasn't coach speak. It was very firm, very aggressive. And now I don't know if he has like a vendetta with Luther Burden, or maybe it's one of those situations where I see the potential in you, so I'm going to coach you hard to bring the best out of you. But like, I group this as I do the Schottenheimer thing. It's like it's too early for this. You haven't earned the respect of your players at this point.
Luther Burden's a rookie too. That's the biggest thing. And the big, I think, if I have to imagine, it's not because of the alignment. It's because Luther Burden was on his podcast saying that leather belt to ass, basically, we're going to put to who was it?
I didn't. This is news to me.
You didn't see that clip?
No.
Well, that clip went viral probably like a couple weeks ago. They asked him, "What's your thoughts on the Vikings week 1?" And he goes, "Leather." But he basically said belt to ass, but he didn't say belt. It was like leather. He basically said we're going to beat their ass, and it went viral, relatively viral. So I'm sure Ben Johnson saw that and was like, "What are we doing here?" So maybe he's just got the vendetta against Luther Burden. If Luther Burden's willing to say that on his podcast, when at that point he probably hadn't even had an NFL practice yet, I would think that there's probably some personality issues there that Ben Johnson's trying to deal with. So I don't want to get after Ben Johnson too much here. I just think everyone believes that the offensive coordinator to NFL head coach just works. It does not always work. So just because he was a great offensive coordinator doesn't mean it's going to work this year as a head coach or in the future.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of ones where there's an offensive coordinator that became a head coach that clearly worked out. Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell, Kyle Shanahan, no doubt about those guys. Other than that, if I'm looking at the NFL right now, I don't think there's a guy. I mean, it's way too early to say that Dave Canales has worked. There's a lot of defensive guys out there.
And Dave Canales could be a great head coach, but it doesn't happen year one necessarily. It takes a little time, especially when you're taking over a bad team. So Ben Johnson, it might not work this year. I think people think he's gonna go in and make this team something special. Maybe, maybe not. Like I can't find a way this team gets 9-8 next year. I can't.
The Bears 9-8.
I think 8-9 is best case scenario.
Is there win total? It's 6 and what is it?
8.5.
It's 7.5. So it might have been bet down.
Okay.
Which I think 7.5 is probably accurate. I mean, they play in probably the toughest division in the sport.
Yeah, and they got a new head coach. It's just there's so many unknowns with them. New head coach, you got a quarterback who you don't know what you're going to get. You got new head coach, quarterback you don't know you're going to get. What else they got, Grant? They got
a lot of young players, a lot of trade acquisitions. There's a lot of movement all over.
Yeah, you got talent, but you're also the Bears. I mean, the defense was one of the worst in football last year. That's more because the offense didn't help them out from playing complementary football and stuck them in bad situations. But yeah, there's a lot of unknowns with this team.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else, Grant? Any other thoughts?
Hall of Fame game is not real football. Chargers win 34-7.
Trey Lance looked good.
He did look good.
He should look good, though. Like
he's a hard pick in the draft.
There's nothing wrong with Trey Lance. Like that is the thing that people do not comprehend when they're like, "Oh, Trey Lance, he sucks." Like there's people that say that. Trey Lance, there's no knock against him. He just hasn't stayed healthy and he hasn't gotten a chance. Like this man was supposed to start over, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Brock Purdy. So there's nothing wrong with him. He really hasn't. Nobody's ever said, "Hey, Trey Lance, you're the guy this year." Like if you stay, like we haven't seen a full healthy season of Trey Lance. So I think the Chargers, they could be looking to deal him if he plays well this preseason.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thought. Honestly, trade value.
Yeah, pretty high.
Well, I got nothing else.
The Hall of Fame game's also dumb too. I'm sorry, it's dumb.
Yeah, I just want the regular season to start.
I like the preseason. I don't mind it. Like I like watching my guys play, but the Hall of Fame game, we're too early in the process.
Agreed.
It's too early because now we don't get preseason until what, Thursday?
When did this even start? I feel like the Hall of Fame game only started a few years ago. Like the standalone one game, and then the rest of the teams start.
Yeah, I don't. It's been canceled before. I think they've done it for a while, but I remember like they canceled it one year because these teams have to play an extra preseason game now. Which who wants to do that? But Thursday, August 7th is the next preseason game. So we got Friday, and then we got a full slate on Saturday. So should be interesting.
I think my commies play on Friday.
We
got the Patriots, Tanner. We're coming up to your neck of the woods.
Shit, I should go to that. That'd be fun.
You should, honestly. I bet the tickets are cheap.
$30 it says. Maybe I'll go on that Friday night. We'll see. It's easy to get there from Boston, so maybe I'll do that.
Well, make sure you get a little video with Terry and his agent for me.
Oh, Terry ain't gonna be there.
He might be, honestly. The way he's been acting, he and his agent will probably show up to sign autographs.
It's got to be so uncomfortable too. I know it's the last thing I'll say, but it's got to be so uncomfortable to like, and I know it's different than like high school football or college football. If you're not playing, if you're not practicing, you're just sort of like hanging out around the team because you're hurt or you're miserable or holding out. I don't know. But like, it's got to be uncomfortable, like showing up, not going to practice, I would think.
I would imagine. Yeah. Maybe it's a little different because Terry's like almost a legend in that locker room. Like he's one of the few guys who's been there for more than a year or two, and everybody likes him. So, but yeah, it's probably still awkward for him at the very least.
At least awkward with the coaches, but it's a business. In the end, it's different. It's a business. So, anyways, Grant, take us out here.
Guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Ride the Line. Tara and I appreciate you all joining us. If you want to help us out, hit the like button. It does help tremendously. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you're tuned in for future episodes. And jump on down in the comments section. Let us know your thoughts on everything we said. What should the Commanders do with Terry? Are the Steelers Super Bowl contenders? Whatever it is, go to the comments. We'll be responding to everyone. And we will catch you all in the next episode of Ride the Line.